Here is my top 20 cartoons of all time. Brace yourself. There's no particular order. First, we have Heathcliff. This cartoon came out in 1984. It's based off a comic strip, same name, a little mischievous cat. And the second segment had the Cadillac Cats, which had another set of characters, but both were entertaining. Very good cartoon, good music, and overall just a very entertaining piece. Next, we have the Smurfs. This cartoon came out in 1981. It's a part of pop culture. Little blue creatures that stay in mushrooms. They're constantly being harassed by Gargamel, who wants to take them and turn them into gold. A classic cartoon, and it's still relevant today. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This came out late 80s, but took over the 90s. Four turtles that mutated to superheroes. We follow the cartoon as they face off against Shredder and his evil villains. This is part of pop culture too, and it's still relevant today. Mighty Orbots. This cartoon came out in 84, Saturday mornings. It had one season, so many people forgot about this one, but there's some transforming robots, just like Voltron, and then they come together to form this super robot. Only thing I didn't like about this robot is that he didn't have a sword. You know, all those big robots had swords. You know, but pretty good cartoon. Music score is great. It's a little jazzy in it. Animation is crisp. I recommend this. Have a great villain named Umra. He's like a supercomputer thingy, and each episode had different villains, and yeah, every villain was intriguing. The stories were great, and it had an ending. Next is the Ghostbusters. Now, Ghostbusters was related to the movies, and then they had cartoons based off the movie. Now, Ghostbusters were part of the pop culture. Pretty good cartoon, good animation, very good storylines. Just overall, just a great cartoon. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. G.I. Joe, the Real American Hero. This cartoon came out in 1983, which uses different army branches for their soldiers. They all had unique skills and culturally significant. Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, roughly based off the board game Dungeons and Dragons. This cartoon came out in 1983 about a group of friends who get transported into this unknown world where they're guided by a little guy named a Dungeon Master. When they entered this new world, they got weapons, each individual weapons that would help them fight against Venture and find their way home. Good characterization, great storylines. You always wonder, was they ever going to find their way home? Excellent cartoon. Next we got Voltron, or actually it's called Beast Go Lion. If you're going to watch Voltron, watch Beast Go Lion. About 5 robots come together, form a super robot, and they protect their planet. This took over. Ulysses 31. If you like Greek mythology, then you would know who Ulysses is. And if you like Greek mythology stories, then you would love this cartoon, because it's basically based off few mythology stories, boosted with a little futuristic look, but pretty good cartoon. Ending is great. Stories keep you entertained, dark but mesmerizing. Great score, great music score. Can't believe this came out in 1981. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. This came out in 81. Great storylines. This has a very powerful storylines that will keep you interested and entertained. It's just Spider-Man Firewoman, Firestar or something, Iceman. But in the series, he met a whole bunch of different villains that would pop in and out, all kind of cameos. Pretty good show. Next, we got the classic, The Flintstones. Fred, Barney, Wilma. Yes, this is a classic and it's been since the 60s. So, yeah, I really can't say anything about this. A great comedy show for adults and children. Tom and Jerry, a classic cartoon. Been out since the 60s and it just keeps coming every decade. 70s, 80s, 90s, millennia, 2010. Basically about a cat chasing a mouse around and vice versa. Great comedy, very entertaining. Bionic 6. Pretty good cartoon, which was about a family that's enhanced with they like cyborgs or whatever, and they got specific powers, each family member, and they fight against the evil Dr. Scribe and his evil henchmen. Good cartoon with great storylines, great animation, beautiful music. Batman, the animated series. Classic, dark cartoon based off of Batman, of course. Batman been going on since the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but he got very popular in the 90s and up. Charlie Brown or Peanuts, classic cartoon, very entertaining. Get a nice little dose of comedy and different characters. Pretty good. Looney Tunes, of course, the classic Looney Tunes since, I don't know, 40s, 50s. This thing been going on for a long time. Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck. Need I say more? This is like the staple of cartoons. They had a lot of racist undertones and stuff and propaganda, but overall, just a classic. Masters of the Universe came out in 1983, which is based off of He-Man and the action figures. Good cartoon, great music, one of the best music scores in cartoons. Had little educational points at the end, very entertaining. Plus you got to see the toys you got to see them in the cartoon. Now we got G-Force, another great Japanese anime that got Americanized, called Battle of the Planets, and then there was some other name too, but the cartoon is a classic, about 5 warriors who dress as birds. They can do different things, had different weapons, and drove this ship called the Phoenix, turn to fire. Classic cartoon, great storyline, great music. Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye, great cartoon about transforming robots that can take different forms, trucks, planes, guns. The series went downhill when they brought out the movie. I remember going to go see that movie. I was real pissed because they killed off Optimus Prime. But Generation 1, classic cartoon. X-Men. This was really got me interested in the X-Men comics, the cartoon. Pretty good cartoon, came out in the 90s. Had continuity, good music, very entertaining. So yeah, this is my top 20 cartoons. Let me know what y'all think. And what is y'all's, alright?